Hello and welcome. In our previous lesson, we discussed the ABCD model for opening presentations. Today, we'll build on that foundation by exploring how to effectively outline your presentation. A good outline will guide both you and your audience through your content with clarity and purpose. Think of it as a roadmap to success. Why is a great outline so important? It's simple. A well structured outline acts as a mental map for both you, the speaker, and your listeners. For the speaker, a good outline provides immense benefits. It keeps you organized and on track, and it prevents you from rambling or forgetting key points. It also helps you manage your time effectively and builds confidence through thorough preparation. For the audience, an outline is just as valuable. It creates clear expectations, makes your content easier to follow, and improves information retention. Ultimately, displaying your outline demonstrates respect for your audience's time. A crucial part of creating a great outline is using transitional phrases. These phrases act as signposts, guiding your audience on their journey through your presentation. When introducing your outline, you might say, "In my presentation today, I'll be focusing on three major issues," or "I've divided my talk into four main sections." When sequencing content, you can use phrases like, "First, I'll look at; second, we'll discuss; and third, we'll explore," or "I'll begin by explaining the definition, and after that, I'll move on to the next point." And when concluding sections, you can say, "Finally, I'll offer some solutions," or "To wrap up, I'll summarize the key takeaways and provide recommendations." A professional outline also includes practical information that sets clear expectations for your audience. You should include timing. For example, you could say, "My presentation will take about 20 minutes," or "Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to look at." If you have handouts, you can inform your audience with a phrase like, "Does everybody have a handout? Please take one and pass them on." Or you can tell them that I'll be distributing copies of the slides at the end of my talk. And don't forget to address questions. You can say, "There'll be time for questions after my presentation," or "Feel free to interrupt me with questions at any time." Deciding how to handle questions is a key part of your outline. You have two main strategies. First, you can take questions at the end. This approach maintains your control of the presentation flow and ensures all your content is covered before time runs out. It also prevents your presentation from being derailed and gives you time to prepare for anticipated questions. An example of this is saying, "I'll be taking questions during a dedicated Q&A session after I've presented all the material." Alternatively, you can take questions throughout your presentation. This creates a more interactive, conversational atmosphere and allows you to address confusion immediately. It also demonstrates confidence and expertise and works best for smaller groups or workshops. You might introduce this with a phrase like, "Please feel free to raise your hand if something needs clarification as we go along." Outlines don't have to be complicated. You can adapt these sample templates to fit your specific presentation needs and audience expectations. For a business proposal, you might follow a structure that includes the current situation, problem identification, a proposed solution, an implementation plan, a cost-benefit analysis, and next steps. For a training session, a good outline could cover learning objectives, background concepts, a demonstration, guided practice, independent practice, and finally, an assessment and feedback session. And for a product launch, you could structure your talk around a market analysis, product features, competitive advantages, your target audience, a marketing strategy, and a timeline with metrics. Your outline slide is a critical visual aid. For visual best practices, your outline slide should be clean and uncluttered. It should also be consistent with your presentation design, easy to read at a glance, and numbered or bulleted for clarity. For content, use brief topic labels, about 3 to 5 words each, with a logical progression of ideas. It is best to have 3 to 5 main points for optimal retention and a balanced coverage, meaning each section has a similar scope. You should display your outline slide long enough for the audience to internalize the structure before you move on. To ensure your presentation is effective, you must avoid a few common pitfalls. These include using too many points, which can lead to an overwhelming flow and confusing content. It's also important to avoid an unclear progression or an outline that is too vague. You should also avoid a misaligned structure. You can avoid these mistakes by testing your outline with a colleague and refining it as needed before your presentation. Let's put it all together. Here is a model outline for a talk on a new cybersecurity protocol. You would start by greeting your audience and introducing the topic. Then you would give them the roadmap, saying, I've divided my presentation into 3 main sections. You would then clearly state those 3 sections. First, I'll explain the current vulnerabilities in our system. Second, I'll introduce the new security features we're implementing. Finally, I'll outline the training program we've developed to help all employees adapt to these changes. You would also include practical information about timing. The presentation will take approximately 25 minutes, and questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions at the end. Finally, you could mention a handout. You'll find a detailed handout on your tables that you can take notes on as we go. To wrap up, remember these key takeaways. First, structure creates clarity. A well-crafted outline gives both you and your audience a clear roadmap to follow, which enhances comprehension and retention. Second, set clear expectations. Include practical information about timing, materials, and question protocols to create a professional impression. And third, keep it balanced. Aim for 3 to 5 main points with roughly equal importance to maintain audience engagement throughout your presentation. Next time, we'll explore techniques for creating compelling visual aids that reinforce your key messages. Thank you.